think this is the beginning of me doing possibly many videos based on the upcoming off-campus series. This series is going to be based on the Elle Kennedy books. The first one came out 10 years ago now, but I didn't read The Deal until 2023. I was very much in my romance reading era, which I still kind of am in it, but I have slowed way down because I just feel like a lot of the books I'm picking up, they don't really pull me in. I just feel like they're kind of mid, so I've slowed my reading way down. But in 2023, I read The Deal for the very first time. And it's a book that has really never left me, especially since I continue to read romance books after that. The Deal to me feels very special because of how it's structured, and I will go more into it later on in this video and why I'm so excited that we're going to be seeing this come to life on screen. Before we get to me gushing about the book, I wanted to take the time to talk a little bit about the actors that they casted to play Hannah Wells and Garrett Graham. At the time that you're watching this video, they announced the cast about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and the cast is actually going to start filming in Vancouver beginning June all the way to October. And then I'm guessing we'll probably see this first season drop hopefully early next year, hopefully before summer of next year, because then that makes it over a year away, and I don't want to wait anymore. But I wanted to take the time to talk about the actors, and for this video mostly just Hannah and Garrett, because they are the first couple. That is the first book, and quite frankly, I think, in my opinion, a lot of pressure kind of rides on them, because if that first season is successful enough, then I think that is how we're gonna get the subsequent books made. And I know everyone has their favorite couple, their favorite books, their favorite book boyfriends and heroines. So I understand. I see you out there, fangirls. You want to see your favorite couple come to life. But my favorite is Hannah and Garrett, like I know many others love. And I did a little bit of IMDb digging, and I went through their Instagrams to get to know our upcoming leading man and lady. And Ella Bright, that's her name, I have never seen her before. So from what I can tell, she has been doing a lot of seasons of a BBC show called Mallory Towers. So it basically follows her character as she's going through the trials and tribulations of a boarding school. So she's a British girl, as we can see, and she's gonna be faking an American accent, which I feel like a lot of British actors just come up and through America and easily just fake our accent, so I'm not worried about that. And she is easily the only one that I have seen not receive any backlash, okay, from the fandom, because she pretty much looks like Hannah. Like, she looks like her, so I understand why no one's complaining. I did see a little people being thrown off guard by the casting of Belmont Cameli. Hello, that name. But he has slowly been winning people over. I think the more and more people are looking at his photos, the more and more they can be convinced that they see the vision. I think that's because, I mean, he looks like a tall, dark, and handsome, athletic man. Like, why wouldn't you be won over by that? And then I see more and more of their pictures next to each other, and I could see the vision come as well. I was never feeling very harshly against the casting of this, okay? Now, to be fair, I did tell you my favorite couple is Hannah and Garrett, so I was a lot easier to please. And I don't want to make this video about the other couples yet, because I'm sure those will come in the future. But yeah, I think what we need to focus more so on as a fandom, you guys, let's be real. I am mostly concerned about them selling the chemistry and also the acting ability. You know, because Belmont, I know he was in the Saved by the Bell reboot that came out a few years ago. I didn't see that. But he was a recent horror film that came out this year that I watched called Until Dawn. Now, I really, really did not like that movie. I actually reviewed it on my channel, so if you're interested to see why, it's somewhere on my channel. Now, I can't even really remember hating his performance per se. I just overall don't like that movie. I don't think it was a very good film. And so because I overall didn't like that movie, I can't really see past that. And so I was mostly concerned about, like, oh my God, this is the guy from Until Dawn. I freaking hated that movie. Why? But then a friend of mine saw the Saved by the Bell reboot from a few years ago, and she told me that that was pretty good and it was underrated. And I trust her judgment. So I'm still holding out on hope, right? I'm hoping like the new locations, new script, new character, that somehow both of these actors' auditions and chemistry reads must have blown these producers off their socks, because this was an open casting call, okay? And say what you will about if those are real or fake, yada, yada, yada. But I mean, it's not like they casted people who were super well-known, famous people. They casted these young people who have some credits to their name. Who knows what can happen, you know? I mean, maybe they will blow up next year when this premieres, if it's good. Back to what I'm hoping to see. Okay, I am a long time fangirl. That means I have read, back in the day, the Harry Potters of the world. I read the Hunger Games, Twilight, Divergent, and it's inevitable. It's an adaptation. Things are going to change. Things are going to be taken out. Some characters might be melded together, because when you are bringing a piece of work to a different medium, that's just, I mean, we're experienced. I'm pretty sure if you're watching this, you're also a fangirl and you know how this goes. And if by any chance you don't know how this goes, let me break it to you here. There's going to be changes. And we already know what's going to change, by the way, because when the casting news came out, a lot of the girlies who auditioned to be Hannah Wells dropped their audition tapes on TikTok. And from those, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can go easily look it up on TikTok right now. But it's basically a scene where Hannah is trying to talk to Justin, and she's kind of like nervous because you can tell she likes him. And then Garrett interrupts, telling her, hey girl, you shouldn't fawn over him. And she's kind of like being sassy towards him. And that is a scene that it happens differently in the book. And I remember that. But the scene, the way it's written, it was still cute. It was still funny. And I think that's going to be the important thing. Even if certain scenes are not exactly copy paste from the book, if you can still get the energy and the essence of who the characters are, which I'm hoping Belmont and Ella do, I think that is the most important thing, at least for me. Okay, I'm preparing myself for the changes, but the Elle Kennedy books, they're very sexy, they're cute, they're funny, and then she does like to add a little bit of trauma to people, whether it's on the page or whether it's someone's backstory. So that's all gonna be in there. And you know, as long as Wellesley is still the smart ass, sarcastic, funny, cool girl who has no problem letting Garrett know a piece of her mind, I'll be happy. And as long as Garrett is this guy who seems very, you know, on the surface, he's just like this like happy-go-lucky, nothing bothers me, nothing fades me, I'm joking around, I'm this cocky, hot athlete, but on the inside, I actually have a lot more depth. I have vulnerability. I actually am seeking connection without even realizing. Like, if he could bring that energy, then I'm gonna be happy, even if some scenes are not copy and paste. And most importantly, okay, I will say this, and it'll be on record, if nothing else, what is also important to me about this adaptation is the fact that, and it's the reason why I love the book so much and why it's one of my favorite romances and why I think it's so good, I want to be able to see the development of the relationship. I love the deal so much because it is not insta-love, it is not insta-lust. It feels, quote unquote, realistic. I'm using quotes because it's a romance book, so it, like the timeline, it all happens still relatively fast. But, you know, at first, Hannah and Garrett don't really know each other. They're not enemies, but she's just like, boy, please, I don't have time to tutor you right now. And he is so desperate because he doesn't want to be kicked off the hockey team. He's trying to get her to agree. So it starts off a little bit, you know, like, I don't really want to do this. It's like I'm forced to being tutored. It starts off like that. So you get a little bit of that enemies to lovers energy, but they're not enemies. And then they start like hanging out outside of tutoring, and then they become friends, and then they realize they actually enjoy each other's company. They uncover qualities about the other person. You know, Hannah starts off being pretty prejudiced against athletes because she thinks everything's handed to them. And then Garrett just really realizes that he loves her personality. He really likes spending time with her. Once they become friends, eventually they become something more, because it all changes with a kiss. And then it all changes with a little hookup session here and there. As long as we can get that development, I will be a happy watcher. And that's why I think the chemistry and the acting is going to be very important. And not only does the development need to hit, but I need Garrett to get there first, the way he does in the book. Just because I think that's very important for his character arc, because he starts out as this athlete who's very one track about, this is my goal, this is the only thing I give a shit about is hockey, I don't have time for girlfriends. But then like once he realizes how he feels about Hannah, that man is all in, and he gets there first. He falls first is one of my favorite tropes. Those are the things that are important to me. I mean, things could change, but as long as ELLE and Belmont can bring the essence and the character energy that we know and love from the books, I'll be happy. As long as the relationship development is there, where they are falling in love, but they don't even realize they're falling in love with each other, is there, I'm gonna be gushing. And as long as also Garrett gets there first. And it's not something that is very well done all the time by romance authors. Hell, Elle Kennedy doesn't even do it all the time in her books, where it's structured and paced so well. So that is why I think The Deal is a pretty special romance novel, even though on the surface it seems very cliche, where it's a college set, it's basically fake dating, she's the smart girl and he's the jock. Like, all of that is cliche, but the characters have depth, they have vulnerabilities, they take their time to get to the journey that they need to go on to connect with each other and realize that they want more with each other, you know. And that's some of the things that I love about romance books, is when they're done right, and then the love kind of like captures them by surprise. And I just can't wait to see it. Well, we will see how well this video ages, okay? Because a year from now when this premieres, or hopefully less than a year from now, it could be awful and I could be like, why was I so excited? Or this could age very well, where the producers and execs find their way to this video. I'm just kidding. But hopefully everyone understands what makes the novel special, and if certain scenes have to change, but they capture the important parts of what I think makes this so well, and why it has endured and people are still discovering this and still love the book. I think those are the reasons why. And hopefully the showrunners and execs and studio knows that. And yeah, we'll see how this goes. Thank you guys so much for watching this video of me just yapping. You know, I have been so excited to hear about this casting, and I really love that book, so I just really want to take the time to yap about it on my channel. I do movie reviews here too, so if you are into films, you can go ahead and check out that playlist. I've done a lot of reviews for 2025 releases, and I'll be doing more. And then I might be doing some more off-campus videos. Thank you guys so much for checking this out. If you are enjoying my content, please go ahead, hit the like button, hit subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time.